We are calling to order the May 5th, 2026 City Council meeting for the City of Woodinville. Can I get the roll call, please?
Councilmember Evans.
Present.
Councilmember Edwards.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Randolph.
Present.
Mayor Arndt.
Here.
Councilmember Wise.
Here.
Councilmember Millman.
Present.
Councilmember Taylor.
Here.
Please join me for the flag salute.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I move to accept the agenda in order and content.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Since we have a remote participant this evening, we will need a roll call vote.
Councilmember Evans.
Yes.
Councilmember Edwards.
Yes.
Councilmember Wise.
Yes.
Councilmember Millman.
Yes.
Mayor Arndt.
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Randolph.
Yes.
Motion passes. And this evening we have a very special presentation. So this evening, our special presentation is recognizing the dedicated work of Steve Yabrov, who has retired recently from our Planning Commission after 19 years of service to the City of Woodinville. So he has been a member of the Planning Commission for my entire tenure with the city, a member of the Tree Board, and before that, the Emergency Preparedness Commission. And I just want to recognize Steve for his years of dedicated service to the city. It is a gift to the community of Woodinville, and he has been here longer than anyone that I know, staff or volunteers. Maybe there's someone, but I don't know who. He's really been a fixture here in the community, and I will always appreciate the warmth with which you welcomed me my first few months on council, and the advice that you shared at that time of thinking through things and looking for those unintended consequences of decisions. Your thoughtful perspective and steady commitment has been part of shaping the city of Woodinville for nearly 2 decades, and your impact will be felt for years to come, and we can see it in our built environment. So I just want to say thank you, and I have a plaque that I would like to give you on behalf of the city.
Is this on? First, I wish to say thank you all. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve here in the city, to hopefully see that the city grows in a constructive fashion. I would say to my fellow citizens, this is your city. Come help contribute, volunteer, make your concerns and wishes known to the city council and the various commissions. They're here trying to do the best job they can for us all. Help them do that. My thanks to you all for your service as well. And the only one I know here in the city who has the same number of years I do is Councilmember Taylor, who served with me on Emergency Preparedness Commission, Planning Commission, and now City Council. but I have him beat for unpaid volunteer work for the city. So my thanks to you all and to the staff who supported us ably and well. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I get a copy of those pictures? Yes. Thank you.
We will now move to public comment. We have no one signed up this evening for public comment. So we're moving right along. Consent.
I move to accept all items on the consent calendar as written.
Second. Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, can we get a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Evans?
Yes.
Councilmember Edwards?
Yes.
Councilmember Wise?
Yes.
Councilmember Millman?
Yes.
Mayor Arndt?
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Randolph?
Yes.
Motion passes, and we're moving on to our business items. We have a public hearing for ordinance number 806, the moratorium on detention and correctional institutions.
Good evening. Do you want to open the hearing first, or?
Yeah, I would like to move to open the public hearing.
Second. A motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Evans?
Yes.
Councilmember Edwards?
Yes.
Councilmember Wise?
Yes.
Councilmember Millman?
Yes.
Mayor Arndt?
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Randolph?
Yes.
Motion passes. The public hearing is now open. Staff.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Mayor and members of the council. This is real brief. I only got a couple of quick slides, just mostly a reminder. As noted, this is a public hearing on an ordinance 806 that had established a moratorium on the application of detention facilities. So the moratorium was originally passed by the City Council on April 7th. And then the moratorium placed a halt on accepting or processing any application for a detention facility, including correction institutions, detention centers, immigration detention facilities, et cetera. I won't read the rest of this on here, but basically put a hold on detention facilities while we take a look at our zoning regulations and look to make some updates to it. The moratorium is good for 6 months, and in the future, if it is needed to be extended, it can be through future public hearings. Per the RCW, City Council action is required on holding a public hearing. When you adopted it on April 7th, it was done on an emergency basis, and so we did not have time to advertise for a hearing. We have now properly advertised for the hearing, and so tonight is your opportunity to hold that. We do have, if for some reason you decide that you wanted to extend this further, we do have until June 6th to have the hearing, or the ordinance would be void. So that's all I have. I'm happy to answer any questions, and there's the motions after the hearing.
Does anyone have any questions? Seeing none, do we have anyone signed up to speak? Seeing none.
Yeah, I move to close the public hearing.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Evans?
Yes.
Councilmember Edwards?
Yes.
Councilmember Wise?
Yes.
Councilmember Millman?
Yes.
Mayor Arndt?
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Randolph?
Yes.
Thank you. That is the full extent of that business item. It was just the public hearing for that action, and we are now ready to move on to our next business item this evening, which is the award of contract for the 124th Avenue improvement project.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening, Council. I will pull up the presentation. Let's see if this works. Oop. There we go. A couple more clicks. Okay. This evening, I have a brief presentation on construction contract award for 124th Avenue Northeast Improvements Project. Just a background, wow, that map does look pretty intense. Just as a background on the project itself, the main strategic goal for this project was to improve pedestrian safety, regional mobility, and active transportation. The project as defined now is on the east side of 124th Avenue Northeast, and from Northeast 171st Place on the north to roughly 165th Street on the south. It's roughly a quarter of a mile of improvements along 124th. The intent of this project was to close the gap in sidewalk, bike lanes, and other facilities on the east side of 124th. A few years ago, we had done similar projects south of 160th, again on the east side of 124th, because 124th, majority of the right-of-way on east side of 124th is within city of Woodinville right-of-way. The main intent of this project was, of course, to connect neighborhoods to schools and other facilities, especially neighborhood parks, and to provide the connection. And that was the intent and the goal for this project. I just wanted to clarify, initially when this project was scoped, the scope on that one was connecting all the improvements or closing the gap of improvements from 160th to all the way to the north of the final subdivision, which is Quail Ridge. However, there were gaps that were filled by projects, like there was a project that came in, a short plat that came in on the east side. So a lot of the gaps were filled. And so the only piece that was left was literally half of what was initially scoped. So I just wanted to give you just that perspective from the original scope. So specifically, what does the project scope include? It has sidewalks, bike lane, and in some location, we will try to see if we can have planter strip as well, just to create a buffer. It also, as we do with all our CIP projects, we will make ADA upgrades where we can, whether it is with the ramps, whether it is the existing ramps as well, crosswalks. Roadway resurfacing will be part of this project. We foresee it to be half street. For sure, it will be half street resurfacing, but depending on the impacts of the construction, it could be full street resurfacing as well. There will be some stormwater system improvements as we put more facilities in there. And then, of course, lastly, but important thing also is that we will be adding a mid-block crossing with the flashing beacons at Northeast 169th Street. And I wanted to show you where that is. 169th Street was right about in this location. That street is a through street, and it connects to Brickyard Park, a neighborhood park that is well visited. The other streets that are along 124th are not through street, and hence that's where 169th Street, that's where we have, we are proposing a mid-block crossing. I also wanted to let you know that Bothell also has a sidewalk project on the west side of 124th. It is in their upcoming CIP, and so hopefully there will be that connection as well. And once Bothell finishes up that connection, then we can, hopefully the future projects will connect. The right-of-way line, as you see in the staff report, you will see it goes in and out between Bothell and Woodinville. So actually all the improvements that we are doing as part of this project is actually in Bothell's right-of-way. But the street and sidewalk will primarily be used by City of Woodinville and residents of Woodinville. So while it's in Bothell, it is primarily serving Woodinville residents. So I just wanted to make sure that was also clear. If council remembers, we had come to council in April. We had gone out to bid, the initial bid in March. We received 6 bids. They were very competitive bids. One of the bidder protested against the bids that we had received, and it was a licensing issue for one of the subcontractors. And based on that, it was a valid protest, and based on that determination, only one bid was deemed responsive. However, the bid was significantly higher than what was expected, and so then staff recommended rejecting all bids, and council approved rejecting all bids at that April 7th meeting. So we did go out to bid again. This was right after the council rejected the bids. We went out to bid the next day. We received 5 bids, and they were equally competitive, as presented, the bids range from $825,000 to a little over $1 million. And the lowest responsive bid was received from RW Construction Company. So what does this do just a big picture, what does this do to the, in terms of how does it compare with the approved project budget? The approved project budget in the current biennium is at $2.83 million. And this includes construction and design. And based on the total projected expenditure, which is the current construction cost, is the lowest bid, the design, CM, and then a 15% contingency, we will be a little over $1.4 million, which is almost $1.4 million lower than the approved project budget.
Councilmember Evans.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask, is this under because of the time of year we went out to bid that we got like those people who wanted to get in early and fill up their pipelines, or is it because of the reduced amount of space that we're doing this on?
All of the above.
Okay,
All
great.
of the above, yeah. So I think reduced scope definitely helped. We didn't need to acquire right-of-way as we had originally thought because of some areas. And then, of course, going out to bid, as you saw, we went out to bid early spring. And even right after the rebid also was equally early in terms of bid phase. So all of the above.
I just want to say thank you. I know that staff put in a ton of work because we really had, I said it looked like somebody was drunk when they drew the line between us and Bothell. It's like, so I know you had to do a lot of work coordinating with them and getting approvals and all that stuff. So I just want to say thank you, and also thank you for saving $1.4 million. That's amazing.
Thank you. And Councilmember Taylor.
Yeah, the bid, can it go up if there's extra cost, like energy cost or?
So we could, yes, there are provisions in our specs depending on, there are sometimes fuel surcharge that there is a threshold that they do, but typically for such a smaller or shorter duration project, we don't typically see the bid price increasing, but they can make a request if they're significantly higher.
So you're pretty confident that this is the price we're going to pay?
Yes, and that is the reason we do have contingency to account for those unforeseen conditions. And if for some reason we do encounter or we do come across where we are asked for an increased cost, that will come to City Council if it increases the contingency.
Thank you. Were you raising your hand? No. Follow-up question. Can you remind me, was this project one of the recipients of a grant funding as well?
So there is, yes, we do have TIB grants for this project. And I'm spacing on the number right now, but I think initially we were awarded $450,000. I'm going off of my memory, but close to that. But they do reduce based on, that was based on the based on the estimate that we provide. Looks like our finance director clarified it was more in line of $750,000, but it was reduced down to $315,000. And that's because of our bids coming in lower. So the $750,000 was based on the estimated cost when the project was presented.
Okay, but we're still receiving just over $300,000 in grant funding for this project as well. Thank you. I appreciate that. I also really appreciate the inclusion of the flashing crosswalk beacon between to the Brickyard Road Park area. That is a crossing that is used daily by community members walking their dogs or kids getting to and from buses or the park or the very popular pickleball courts. So I know it will greatly improve safety for everyone in that area of the community.
So while the city will be installing those beacons as part of this project, it'll be installed on the City of Bothell right-of-way, owned and maintained by Bothell. But they have been very responsive when we have any issues or we have complaints. They have been very responsive, and we have direct contact with their maintenance.
Thank you. We'll make sure not to let them take credit for it.
A recommendation for council is to award contract to the lowest bidder, authorize the contingency that was requested, and of course authorize city manager to execute the contract. So in terms of that would be the recommendation. Our next steps, if the contract is awarded, we'll start construction. There's a contract process that we have to go through for a few weeks, but we will start right as soon as the schools close, and we will start the construction. Even though we can do a lot of the work while school is in session, we can do traffic control. We have done that with the other 124th project south of 160th. So this is right now our estimate is to complete this project by end of this year.
Thank you.
All right, I move that the City Council award Public Works contract for the 124th Avenue Improvements Project, ST21-010, to R.W. Scott Construction Company of Auburn, Washington, in the amount of $825,370, and authorize a $125,000 contingency, and authorize the city manager to execute the Public Works contract and take other actions necessary to implement this action.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Would you like to speak to the motion?
No, I think this is an exciting move of actually creating additional safety within the city. I think coming in under budget, once again, getting submissions at a good time, and having a grant involved, this actually reduces the cost to the city. And I will appreciate us having a new crosswalk and having Bothell pay for maintenance.
Thank you for this project. I know it has been long desired by the communities on the West Ridge, and with all of the complications with the jurisdictional boundaries, I know it has taken longer than we initially thought to get it actually across the finish line, but I'm very excited to be able to tell the community up there that we have authorized this contract and that we're moving forward with this last chunk of sidewalk to really complete that safe walk to school, the safe walk to transit, and the safe walk to amenities up there. And I will put in a little plug that I know that the city has been working on studying what a connection between that area of the city and the downtown would look like, and I'm looking forward to seeing that when it's complete. Councilmember Evans.
I'm also looking forward to seeing how to connect people getting off the West Ridge and away other than in a car. I also want to say this is a really key missing piece. There are hundreds of kids that live in the Arbor Ridge neighborhood and across the street that have to cross in the dark at 7 a.m. in the wintertime and walk like on this grassy, slippery knoll, trying not to get hit because the line that they have to walk on is less than 6 inches from where cars are zipping by. So this really is a needed improvement. And when snow routes happen, all the kids have to trek up that hill with literally less than 6 inches to get to the very top to 160th. So this is impacting hundreds of families who live here. So I just wanted to say thank you again for this, and I'm thrilled that it's less than half the price and we have a grant. Like, there's just a lot of goodness that goes with this, so thank you.
Seeing no further comments, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Evans?
Yes.
Councilmember Edwards?
Yes.
Councilmember Wise?
Yes.
Councilmember Millman?
Yes.
Mayor Arndt?
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Randolph?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. And we're moving on to business item number 10, approval of the MOU with the North Shore Parks and Recreation Service Area regarding recreation/aquatic facility property.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Council. I don't have a presentation for you this evening. This is a continuation of the conversation that Council had at its April 7th meeting, wherein it discussed, and again, in high terms, this is not specifics, so we're not discussing dollar amounts or length of leases or sales or any of that kind of stuff. This was a conversation about is the city committed to working with MPRSA and bringing the property that it's acquired for these purposes of the aquatic facility and recreation facility that MPRSA is working on to that project. I think we all know that answer. That's why we went and pursued the property. Of course, by way of background, we've been working with MPRSA on that. King County, who had supplied a grant to MPRSA to do some of the initial upfront planning work, has been very gracious and has funded a lot of that work, but it's got to the point where they want something in writing that says that, yes, the city is committed to this project, and we're committed to, I guess, further exploring a partnership on this project. Really is what this level of MOU is at this point. So this MOU that's before you this evening is attachment 2 in your packets. It really does that. It captures that the city is committed to working with MPRSA to explore the possibility of this project at a very high initial level, looking to do so by bringing that property in a long-term lease to that project, at which point MPRSA would be responsible for building and constructing and owning that facility. The MOU before you this evening is multiple times throughout there describes itself as non-binding. It doesn't commit the city to any sort of funding at this point. And I reiterated, I knew multiple times throughout the staff report that all those specifics, the actual structure of whatever deal could eventually come, will have to be negotiated extensively between now and when that is ready for council action. So this item tonight is really that MOU, that initial to give King County enough assurance that yes, the city is at least tentatively committed to this project and is willing to entertain a conversation about bringing this property to that project. So again, pretty broad. It is non-committal by definition, and happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Any Councilmember Evans?
So in listening to the MPRSA board meeting, I know this is a really key part of getting the funding from King County to finish a lot of the planning activities that need to happen before we can go out to voters with a plan. And so it's really important that we have this, but I did appreciate as I read through this that it's not binding us specifically, but it is putting our intention out there that we're intending to have a long-term lease. So I'm very much in favor of this approach and of continuing to move forward so that we can continue to plan and hit the milestones needed to get out to voters.
Any other questions? Deputy Mayor?
I guess I should. I wanted to broach the question with you, Mr. City Manager. Any concerns with this MOU or particular excitement given that we're moving on to the next steps of the process?
It has been very intentionally structured to be so non-committal that I'm not worried about it. It really, as Councilmember Evans mentioned, it captures our intent, which we've on the record said multiple times. This is our intent. It papers that so we can hand that, so somebody can hand that to King County. Really, is what this is. So it's in my mind, after working with council on this for several years now, it captures our intent in writing that we've made clear, and nothing more. So no, to answer your question directly, Deputy Mayor, I don't have any concerns about this.
I move that the City Council approve the memorandum of understanding between the city and North Shore Parks and Recreation Service Area regarding the recreation aquatic facility property as presented, and authorize the city manager to take other actions necessary to implement the action.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Would you care to make a comment?
I think the city manager kind of said everything that needed to be said, and so did Councilmember Evans, in that this helps us move forward onto the next steps.
Thank you. Just for context, this MOU will go to the NPRSA's board for approval at their next meeting, May 20th. So this is a great step in officially making this in writing and moving NPRSA forward. I appreciate the commitment that the council and the staff has shown on making this project a reality or a potential reality for our community. Councilmember Taylor.
So after negotiations, will we have another go at the dollar figure that's agreed upon?
Yeah, of course, and we'll have to have council direction as we go into those negotiations. So that is several steps off, but yes, of course, council will weigh in and have final approval on whatever sort of deal structure we arrive at.
Seeing no further comments, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Evans?
Yes.
Councilmember Edwards?
Yes.
Councilmember Wise?
Yes.
Councilmember Millman?
Yes.
Mayor Arndt?
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor?
Yes?
Deputy Mayor Randolph?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Second, public comments. No one signed up for public comment this evening. I guess Cinco de Mayo is very exciting. Report of the city manager.
I'll just add, and we covered it on Saturday, but thank you for taking the time on Saturday. I know it was a lovely Saturday, and I'm sorry you had to spend it in this room, but it was, I think, a very productive meeting, and I appreciate all of you taking the time and giving up your Saturday to do that and provide guidance on kind of the big picture vision for Woodinville for the next 4 to 6 years. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Reports of council members. Councilmember Evans.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Councilmember Edwards.
No report, thank you.
Deputy Mayor Randolph.
Nothing tonight, thanks.
Councilmember Wise.
Yeah. So I'm not sure how many people have heard, but there was a fire in the Wellington neighborhood last night, in my neighborhood. Thankfully, the family and all of their pets are safe. There is a group of us neighbors who have already been reaching out to the family to kind of figure out how we can support them. Overall, it was really scary to see just how suddenly these things can start and how rapidly they grow. And I want to take a moment to recognize the first responders that came out. They were on site within minutes. They were able to quickly contain the fire, ensure that everyone in the area remained safe. And I also want to shout out the Woodinville officer that went and bought the family's shoes. My neighbor couldn't remember his name, but that type of compassion and care matters so much to folks in times of distress, and should be a powerful reminder to all of us of the humanity that our officers and all of our first responders bring to the work that they do here every single day. So thank you truly. And you know, as we head into the hotter, drier months, we are expecting it to be particularly dry this summer. I think that this serves as a pretty powerful reminder that sometimes fire risk doesn't always come in the ways that we expect, and the best time to prepare for an emergency is always well before it happens. And that's everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Millman.
Nothing tonight.
Councilmember Taylor.
Let's see. In light of that last comment and Steve Yabroff's background, is there a possibility that we could maybe have an item in the future about our emergency preparedness plan? I know we spent a lot of time on it and just want to see where we're at today. Yeah, that would be it.
Yeah, we can work on putting a briefing on the agenda at a future point, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. I think that would be a welcome addition as well. I'd like to move it fast, but I realize that this is the first council meeting since we have returned from our trip to DC, and so I wanted to make a brief report on that. The city manager, Mr. Hill, and the deputy mayor and I traveled to DC for a very brief visit, which I think had a lot of really positive meetings as far as our representatives from the state of Washington go. We will have to see what our federal government actually takes action on in the coming months, but we had some really encouraging answers from our representatives in regards to our federal funding asks, both the earmark and the potential grant. So support for those, and we will keep you appraised as we know more of what's happening at the federal level for this funding to help close the gap on a couple of projects that we are working on here in the city. We also had our council retreat in the last 2 weeks. We toured a section of East Rail in Kirkland. We planted a Liberty tree, and we did a major community art project. So it's been a busy couple weeks when I was looking back on it, and I appreciate all of the extra time that staff and council has contributed to kind of these events that are kicking off the summer months here in the city. So thank you. We will now adjourn to an executive session. Council will adjourn to a closed session for approximately 30 minutes to discuss with legal counsel representing the agency matters relating to agency enforcement actions, or to discuss with legal counsel representing the agency litigation or potential litigation to which the agency, the governing body, or a member acting in an official capacity is or is likely to become a party when public knowledge regarding the discussion is likely to result in adverse legal or financial consequences to the agency. No formal action is expected to be taken. Thank you.
10 minutes. Thank you.
We are back. No action is taken.
Motion to adjourn.
Meeting adjourned.